Lay back, unwind. Groove to the rhythm, it'll soothe your mind. Live, laugh, and love, might throw some shade along the way. Oh, please behave. Some might say, oh, let's go. Let's go. It's time to turn on your radio. Rhymes will flow. Just so you know. You're kicking it, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, let's go.
Hey y'all. Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Kicking It with K Marie. Of course, I'm K Marie. Who else I'm going to be, right? So thank you for tuning in. And again, you all, thank you so much for the support. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. And if that's you, if you have not subscribed, then you can do so now. Whatever platform that you are listening to us on, just hit that subscribe button. Even hit that automatic download button so you can get the episodes automatically, as it comes out. If you're listening on those type of platforms like iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, whatever, okay? We're everywhere. We're out here in these streets. Okay. So, we have a very, very special show today. I think all my shows are special though. I think everybody that I have on, every expert guest that I have is special, and the show is special because it's going to be information that we all can use, because that's the purpose of me starting this podcast, is that I wanted to bring useful information that people can use, especially people in my community, the African American community. I mean, I thank you for everybody else that listens. And I know you all get something out of each episode as well. But I specifically make sure that my community get the information that we need in order to live this life. Okay. And I thank you. And I believe that every conversation, every kicking it session can spark change. So it just take one conversation. I believe that. So today we're going to continue on our, today we're going to continue on our series this month, the month of November, the safety series. I hope you all enjoyed the episode last week when we had Parks Defensive Strategies on, Kwan Parks. And I hope you all saw the pictures from the outing that we went on. We had so much fun at the range. You're going to see, I have not been shooting in a minute at the range, and it showed. Okay, it really showed. But I'm going to get back into it. Actually, going to start a women's shooting club, and we're going to meet every month, and we're going to go to the range. So if you are interested and you're in the Detroit area, just email me at info@kmariepodcast.com, and we're going to start that. All right, so today we're going to be talking about safety while working outdoors. And not just specifically outdoors, but just working out, period. But I did want to touch on working outdoors because it is getting cold, especially if you are living in a part of the world where it gets cold. You have a true winter. And I know a lot of people like to work out in the winter time. I don't know why y'all like to do that, but I know that there's a lot of you that do. And I just want you all to be safe in doing that. Okay. So today I have a very special guest. I'm going to read her bio, how she worded it. It's so cute. Okay. So it says, "Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea. I have been a personal trainer for over 16 years. I love people, and I am passionate about helping others achieve their health and fitness goals. I specialize in weight strength training, calisthenics, and plyometrics." I had to ask her how to say that. I was like, what's all these scientific terms? and plyometrics, as well as proper dieting and stretching techniques. I believe that anyone can get healthy and stay healthy with proper exercise, a clean diet, consistency, and determination. Let's get started on the journey towards healthier and stronger you. And you can find her at Andrea, Andrea 92378 at gmail.com. And for those who are watching, you'll be able to see it on the screen if you'll be able to see it. So without further ado, I am going to welcome today's guest, Andrea. Hey, girl.
Hi. How are you? Hi, everybody.
Good. You are. This is her first time doing anything like this. So
It is.
we are welcoming her with open arms. I told her she'll do just fine. It's just us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm
Oh,
so
thank you
humbled.
so much for coming on and just letting us know the safe way of doing things when it comes to working out. But before we go there, just give them just a little background on what made you get into want to get into personal training.
Um, I honestly have been in sports just as a kid, as a child, my whole life. And then as an adult, after I want to say, you know how you hit like 24, 25, and the weight doesn't just fall off when you eat bad, like
Right.
when you're a teenager. And so I, I started working out and I really liked being at the gym. I loved it.
Mm,
And I applied for a job at the gym when I was about 27. They hired me. And I think when I realized it was what I wanted to do, I had a client who was having a hard time with her health. And she was having a hard time. I know this it's what it is, but she was having a hard time going to the bathroom, number
mm,
two. And it would be weeks, before she would go. So I just took it upon myself, started doing research, looking up information to help her and gave her this diet. And one day she came into the gym about 2 weeks later and she just in tears and she gave me this big hug. And she's like, I've gone regularly every day for the past week. And I just want to thank you. And the happiness of seeing her so happy, it was such a fulfilling, it was just a great feeling.
mm-hmm.
And that was it. That's when I knew that was what I wanted to do. And I've been doing it ever since.
I know she was happy because for weeks. Yeah, you know that. Oh, that
Yeah,
stomach, just that waist just sitting up in. Oh my
yeah.
goodness!
She
I know
would
she's
go
probably in
weeks.
pain.
Yeah, yeah. She would go weeks before she could actually just go. So it was just a great feeling, knowing that I had the opportunity to help someone change something so important, and it's the small things, but they add up. So I was really excited about that. So
They do. So, did you start training like in a gym, or did you do it on your own, or how did you start to actually get into it?
Fitness USA, they're not open anymore.
Oh, girl! Wow! Wow! The one on Finkel.
No, I was at the one. I started at the one in Royal Oak. It was in on Woodward and 12 Mile. It's a Bell Tire now.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, but
Okay.
I started at the one in Royal Oak, and I was there for 5 years, and they paid for my certification, and after that I just had to renew it. So that was great. They paid for the certification, my training, they paid for everything, and I'm truly grateful for that. And I learned a lot being there, but I after 5 years I went off on my own. And so I've been doing this for it's over 16 years. This coming summer, next year will be 17 years, but I've been on my own for 10. For 11 of those years, I've been on my own, I should say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
was that? How did you like that when you first branched out on your own? Was it scary? Because like, okay, how am I gonna get these clients? Or did you have clients to follow you over?
some clients followed me over, but it was rough. Financially, it was scary, it was rough. And I was driving house to house or to different gyms. So I didn't have like one central location where everyone came to. that was the hardest part. It was getting people to trust that you were going to show up when you said you would,
Yeah.
because you have a relationship you build and people can just come to the gym. And it's different when you have a trainer that's at the gym. If your trainer doesn't show, they can give you another trainer. If the trainer can't come for whatever reason, something happens, the gym provides what you need. When it's working as an individual, you've built a trust, but now this person is trusting, when I pay you, you're going to show up like we've agreed. You'll be here. You're not going to cancel on me. You're not going to just disappear with my money. So that was a scary thing for the clients. And then for me, it was, trusting that clients were going to be consistent. And, I had really amazing clients, a great client base. And I'm so grateful to God for that, because it was very scary. Like,
I
I
can imagine.
didn't want to do it at first. It was like, oh, this is guaranteed pay. So
Right.
it was
Right.
very hard. It was very hard at first.
So why did you want to step out on your own?
Policies. When you work for a company, the company has to make money in order for everyone to have a job. At the same time, for me, it's about people. And there were certain things that I did not like. So, and I don't want to talk bad about, a company. They're not open anymore anyway, but there were a lot of things that that didn't settle well with me.
Yeah.
And it became a thing where it wasn't really about the people. The one thing that started to bother me was we didn't focus enough on diet. And you cannot out-train a bad diet. I do not care how often you work out. And when you're young, it's different, but it will catch up with you. With time, a bad diet catches up with you. You cannot out-train a bad diet.
Yes.
And I felt like that was not stressed enough. The importance of healthy eating, teaching people how to grocery shop, teaching people how to cook at home, teaching people how to meal prep. And that wasn't something they wanted us to stress. And so then you have this thing where your client starts off, they lose a little bit of weight. And then because the diet is bad, they go back to gaining, or they get stuck in this holding pattern where they're maintaining, but they're not getting to their goals.
Yeah.
And diet is 85% of the work. And so, that started to become an issue. And there was other things. And so I felt like if I really want to do this the way that I believe it should be done, I have to do it on my own. So.
Hey, do it. Yeah. Because, and I'm saying this, everyone, I'm not calling out the gym, but I just have an issue. It is a gym out here that I went with my mother one time, like a couple of years ago, so she can sign up. And I was just looking. I was like, do they really have pizza up in here? It's like they have pizza. They have pizza, and in the morning, like bagels and stuff. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, that's either, great marketing, because if you have your people eating like that, they're guaranteed to keep coming back.
Right.
Or
right.
just dumb. I was like, there's no way I would join a gym and they feeding you. They got pizza night and bagel night. What? Anyway.
Yeah.
That's just mind-boggling to me.
And I agree with you, because when I think of it like this, some people have serious food addiction issues.
Yes.
And so when you're trying to overcome that addiction or deal with getting yourself to a place where you're in control of your eating habits, that's the worst thing that can happen, to me, for a client that's really struggling with their eating. And then you walk in and the smell of the bread hits you, the smell of
the pepperoni,
the pepperoni. And it's like, I want to be good, but it's right here.
Right. It's right. One slice won't hurt.
Right. I know which gym you're talking about. I've seen pictures. There was somebody put a picture of this guy and he's on the treadmill and he's eating pizza.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a sad thing. It's like, let's help people. Let's take away the distractions instead of adding
Hey,
them.
oh my God. He just on the tread, walking, looking at TV and
Just,
eating pizza.
and eating
Wow.
pizza, just chilling.
Whew,
So
that's crazy. But yeah, but like you said though, getting the body that you want or just losing the weight, like you said, that's like 85% is what you eat. I'm
that's
like,
right.
some people think like, no, you just exercise it off. Like, no, it's like that midsection,
Mm-hmm.
girl,
Mm-hmm.
because y'all, and I wish I had uploaded, but I mentioned it on Instagram, on my Instagram page. Uh, I was like, this girl's abs. Because when I saw, I was like, that's. I remember when I DM'd you, I was like, that's you.
I do. I do. I remember that.
I was like, I'm gonna need your information. I'm writing these movies and stuff now, and I'm gonna have a cameo in our first movie, and I gotta be tight.
See?
I can fake it. I can put on a waist trainer and suck it and tuck it,
Right.
but I want to be authentic.
Right.
So yeah, y'all, this is going to be my trainer. So when you see me on that big screen, you'll be like, okay, it is, yes. Okay.
I'm excited about you getting started. I really am. I'm excited.
Me too. I am too. And I prefer a personal trainer, because I'm not a gym rat, you know.
Hmm.
Um, I loathe a lot of times going going to the gym, 'cause I was telling you offline that, and I'm gonna give this a plug. They're not paying me or anything like that yet. But Blue Cross Blue Shields, if you have Blue Cross Blue Shields, whether you have the HMO Blue Care Network or Blue Cross, any of the blues, they have this program. It was called Healthways Fitness, and it's changed to something else, but you can still inquire about it. One of the perks of having that insurance on the blues is that we can have a gym membership to different gyms for $25. I pay $25 a month. I got grandfather in because they went up to 29. That's still good.
Yes.
A month, and you can go to different gyms or whatever. But even with that, I still like the personal trainer, like coming to my house or meeting somewhere, because I like that one-on-one. I'm better when it comes to different things, like if it's being taught to me like one-on-one. Because like in the gym, sometimes when you don't know, you're intimidated. You don't like, I don't know what to work on and how many reps and how many this and that.
Right.
So I think personal trainers are needed for you to get started and to just to go and have that shape or that the tone that you want for your body. Okay, so working out outdoors. I know that a lot of people love to work out outdoors, even in the cold, even in the winter. I am so not one of them, but I mean, I would like to be that one that's out there walking,
Mhm.
but no, not when it's cold. But for those who are watching, because I know it's a lot of you who do like to work out outdoors, you live in colder climates. Can you just give us some tips on how to stay safe in doing that?
So the first thing is if you have any pre-existing conditions, any health issues, especially asthma or heart disease, you
Mm,
definitely want to talk to your doctor first about working out outdoors. That puts you at a higher risk for hypothermia, and that hypothermia itself is very dangerous.
mhm.
So if you have asthma or heart disease, you absolutely really want to talk to your doctor. If you have any pre-existing conditions, talk to your doctor, but those two put you at a higher risk. And then if you're pregnant, you also want to talk to your doctor before just starting a workout regimen outside or at all, if you're pregnant. And I think I was telling you this before we, went live on the
Mhm.
podcast. The best temp for the body working out outside is 35 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's better if you do it in the early afternoon because that's when your body is warmed up and your body temperature is at its highest.
Hmm.
You're because in the morning you're still kind of cold. You want to do a nice brisk walk just to warm your body up, or you can do dynamic stretches. For example, you could do, just free squats. You could, run in place a little bit, jumping jacks, the windmill with your arms. You know how you see swimmers warming up when you watch the Olympics and they're flapping their arms in
Yeah.
front of them. Those are all dynamic stretches,
Hmm.
swinging your hips, free swinging with the legs, just to warm up your body. You don't want to do what's called static stretching before a workout. Static stretching, it should be done after your workout and indoors in a warm area.
So what's
So
static stretching?
static stretching is when you're bending over and you're touching your toes and you're holding it for 15 to 30 seconds.
Wait, so you said we shouldn't do that before?
No, you don't because your body's cold.
Oh, only when working outdoors.
No, in general.
Oh, really?
So
'Cause
yes. So the best order for exercise, even if you're doing CrossFit or anything like that, you want to warm up with dynamic stretching first.
okay.
Then you do your workout. Then you cool down with a walk, and then you do the static stretching. And
So
that's the
like
proper.
you said, like the dynamic stretching is just like just moving your limbs.
Yes, it's moving the limbs. It's, um, just any type of, just free squats, just squatting with no weight, lunging with no weight, side lunges with no weight, front lunges, back lunges,
Then
everything.
that's a
Just
stretch.
yes, those are stretches.
Girl, I hate lunges.
There are different types of lunges. So there are some lunges you're doing to stretch, and there are other lunges you're doing for weight bearing.
Okay. Okay. I'm like, that's a whole exercise. I'm like,
And the purpose of it though is to warm you up. So you should feel like, that blood flow, you're getting
okay.
you want the blood flow to get to your muscles. So the oxygenation can get there. And that keeps your muscles and your ligaments warm. So you don't
Mm,
snap a tendon or pull any muscles or anything like that. If you try, and I'm not saying that if you do a static stretch before working out, you're automatically going to injure yourself, but you put yourself at a higher risk.
oh wow, okay.
You put yourself at a higher risk, especially if it's cold. And you want to keep in mind when it's cold, your body automatically sends more blood to your organs. So your arms and your legs it's going to take anywhere from 10 to 40% more effort to get them warm, to get them ready for the workout outdoors. And then the other thing that's important is having the proper attire. So it's usually 3 layers, and your first layer should be dry fit to pull the sweat away from your skin. That should be your first layer. Your second layer should be wool or what's the word? Fleece, some type of a wool, polyester, or a fleece blend, and that insulates your warmth. And then your third layer should be a type of wind resistant, water resistant material that is breathable. Um, There's so many things to consider when you're working out outside, but if the temperature drops below zero and we have a very low wind chill, it is best to just work out indoors.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that's the best advice. If you do it, you can. It is not impossible. I'm not saying that you can't. So I do also, I want to give the symptoms for hypothermia because some people, you don't realize you're there, but extreme shivering, like really intense shivering. If a person's acting aloof, like if you're with a friend and they're working out and they're not making sense, they're not coordinated, they're tripping and falling, and they don't usually do that. Those are all symptoms of hypothermia. You also want to keep in mind that the person who has it, if the person is going into hypothermia, they don't really know. So they'll be withdrawn, they won't care. It's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Mm.
Yeah, so you want to be, and then their speech is slurred. So if their speech starts to becoming slurred, you want to go to the hospital right away because your core temp is not warming up enough. And if you get wet, stop, just go home. If you don't have hypothermia, you're working out outside and you get wet, stop because that can cause hypothermia.
Mm.
Um, Cotton is not good. Don't work out outside in cotton. It stays wet, it sticks to the skin, it doesn't pull the moisture away from you, and it doesn't insulate the heat as well as wool or fleece.
Okay.
Gosh, there's so much. So, but a store that, there are stores, Dick's Sporting Goods, REI is really great for things like that. You can get socks that are insulated. I have a pair of wool socks just for the winter. They're awesome. They're amazing. They keep your feet nice and warm. You want to make sure you wear 2 pairs of gloves as well. You want to do a dry fit pair of gloves and a fleece or a wool pair of gloves to keep your fingers warm. If you feel like you're starting to sweat, take off a layer so your core temp doesn't get too warm because you don't want to get to the point where your body starts cooling down and you start sweating more. And that can put you at a higher risk for hypothermia.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and reflective clothing if it's dark, because with daylight savings time, if you're riding a bike, wear reflective clothing. That's extremely
Yes,
important.
please.
Please wear reflective clothing if it's dark. And then sunscreen in the daytime, because you can get sunburn in the winter just like in the summer. So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so sunscreen if it's, really sunny out and it's cold.
So I know you said for the first layer, like a dry fit.
Mhm.
So like, what about? Do they have like those like long john type in that type of material?
Yeah, they do. They do. They have it for men and women. So you can get the ones that go all the way down to your ankles. Even in the summer, it's good to use dry fit because it keeps you from chafing and things like that. It pulls the sweat off of your body, and you don't realize you're wet until you get home and you start taking off layers. You're like, man, I was really sweating. But they have the long johns for the upper body. They have the face mask made with dry fit. And I believe that if I'm not mistaken, you can get like especially for, women with curlier hair, women of color, you can get hats that have a satin lining, but the outside is wool. So it doesn't tear up your hair, and it keeps your head warm. I think wool tears up everyone's hair though. I don't care who you are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
wool
so
destroys your hair.
abrasive.
Yes, it's very abrasive. So you can get hats with a satin lining. I can't think of the name of the company, but they make
It's a
hats.
line out there. It's a
Yeah,
line.
it is. And they make the hats where you can, get that lining and put the hat on and keeping your ears warm. Frostbite is another thing. Um, it's very unlikely that you'll get frostbite if the temp is above 5 degrees. And that's considering the wind chill factor is low. But once you get to -18, it only takes 30 minutes for frostbite to set in.
Nobody's like really working. Okay. Do you know of people that's like really working out even like at below zero? I mean, come on.
There are people, I mean, especially if you're thinking of skiing,
Mm.
runners, skiers, bikers, there are people who, snowmobiling, and you have to think it's not even just for working out. If you're going somewhere and you're outdoors for a long time, going to see lights, Christmas caroling, you
Yeah.
still want to be prepared for extremely cold temperatures. Because if you're stuck outside and you're trying to, keep those hands warm, that's like instant regret. Like, man, I should have dressed warmer. I've done that.
Right. I have too. Like, oh Lord.
And then we have a lot of stuff downtown because we have the ice rink downtown.
Mhm.
So even if you're just taking kids to go to the ice rink, it's important. They have dry fit for kids, put the first layer on, the second layer. If it's snowing out, put on that third layer, kids going to school. All that keeps you warm. It keeps you insulated. Now it might suck when you're in school because you're gonna be hot.
Right. It reminds me of that scene in how was that movie with Ralphie, a Christmas Story?
Yes.
Remember when his mother was wrapping up his little baby brother? I mean, he couldn't hardly move. He was
He kept falling in the snow. Yes.
but hey, he was warm.
He was warm,
He was
yes,
warm.
because when it's cold, we had a winter. My sister and I were talking about a few years back. My truck was stuck in my driveway for 3 days because my gas line froze, and I had to wait 3 days before I could drive my truck. When it's that cold, no one should work out outside. It
No.
was really cold. So
So, in your professional opinion, do you think that people should work out outdoors still in the wintertime, or do you think they should try to stay in the house or go to a gym?
I think that if a person is willing to take the proper precautions, definitely because I would rather someone work out outdoors versus not working out at all. And you do have people who just don't like being indoors when they exercise. They
Mhm.
prefer the outdoors, they prefer the elements, the wind, whatever it is gets you going. I want people to keep moving. That's so important, staying healthy, staying into your routine.
Mhm.
So if your routine is working out outdoors and you really, really want to, just be as cautious as you can. Um, and another thing, let people know where you are.
Mm.
Let people know your routine. Have someone that knows. Let's say, for example, you're a runner and you're running outside, you're running near roads and it's slippery out. Cars can skid, anything can happen. And so you want somebody that knows, okay, this person starts at 6 mile and they run to 12 mile and then they go up to Evergreen, wherever it is you run. You want someone to know your routine. So if they don't hear from you, they know where to look. That's extremely important. You want someone to know your routine. If you go to a specific park, anything like that.
Mhm.
And then just for safety measures, if you work out outdoors or walk in your neighborhood and it's cold outside, I have a dog. I love dogs, but there are dogs, in neighborhoods that aren't friendly,
Mhm.
so you could do like a light pepper spray. It just deters them. It doesn't really hurt them.
Mhm.
You could do like loud noises, like an air horn. They're
Okay.
terrified of that kind of thing. That I would recommend that. That's the quickest way to get them, because pepper spray, they have to get really close for you to use it. But an air
Right.
horn, an air
What is
horn
jam? You're like, shoot. Ooh, you hit.
like really freak them out and send them on their way. So you want to be mindful of things like that, if you are walking or running outdoors. And then it's good to use the buddy system, because again, if hypothermia sets in, it's really hard for the person that it's happening to know. It's really hard for you to know. But if your friend is with you and you start slowing your speech, you're not talking right, you're not making sense, then it's like, okay, hold on, we need to stop. We go to the hospital. Don't try to go home and treat hypothermia. Go to the hospital. That is the one thing that I will say. If you think someone has hypothermia, take them to the doctor, because that's very serious. Your internal temperature is not staying warm and you're not generating enough heat, and they have warming blankets and things like that. And
Mhm.
then after your workout, you want to decompression is extremely important. Whether you're working out indoors or outdoors, you want to decompress your body. So that's where your cool down and the stretching takes place. Get in your car, turn the heat up, take off the layers. Once you're in the car, take off the layers. And then when you get home, you can just put on the waterproof layer, go into the house or wherever it is you're going to stretch in a nice warm area, stretch, take a hot shower, and then kind of cool the water off to close your pores up. And
Hmm.
I mean, those are just the most important things that I can think of off the top of my head. But if you can, in my professional opinion, if you can tolerate going indoors or working out indoors, once it gets below zero, I really strongly suggest working out inside once the temperature drops below zero.
I'm I'm gonna try one day this winter. Like if it's like about 40 something, I'm gonna try like walking or something in my neighborhood. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try.
Well, acclimate first. The best way, like if you want to try working out outdoors, go outside for like 30, 40 minutes, not when you're working out. Just go outside, like you said, going for a walk, 30, 40 minutes at a time, a couple of times a week will get your body used to dealing with the cold. And
Mm,
it raises your internal blood temperature. It gets your body. The only way I could think of it is where my aunt and her kids, they moved to Texas years ago. And my sisters and I, we went down for a family vacation to visit, and we were burning hot. And
mhm.
it's summertime, and people were walking around with jeans on. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? I mean, I didn't want to put clothes on. It was so hot. And my aunt was like, it's not that hot. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? It's freeze. It's burning up. She was like, it's kind of cold, actually. And I'm thinking, no, it is 87 degrees in Texas. It's hot. And your body adjusts to the temperature. It's like here in Michigan, once we hit the below zero temps, and then when spring comes in and it's like 40 degrees, we're like, yes, it's
Right,
warm.
right, right.
So your body does change, your body adjusts. So I would say go out a few times, acclimate, and then it's easier to start dealing with the cooler temperatures if you keep doing it, a few times a week. But that first time is going to be cold.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try. It's no guarantee, but I'll try. I'll try.
You're making no promises.
No, none at all, none. Um, so just I know people probably listening, like, okay, that's nice. I don't really work out outdoors or whatever. Just really quickly, what are some safety tips for working out indoors?
Um, your form is everything.
Mm,
Form is everything. So again, it's the same working out outdoors. Your warm up, dynamic stretching, then you start your weight training. If you want the most effective results, put your body on a group workout schedule. So your body itself, you have certain muscle groups that go together.
mhm.
Your legs I consider that one group. That's one group.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
The legs use a lot of energy when you're working out. Your
Yeah.
chest, your shoulders, and your triceps are another group because those muscles, whenever you push, they're working together. So your chest, your shoulders, and triceps are a group. And then your back, your biceps, and your abs, or your core, all the way around. Your back, biceps, and abs, that's the pull, that they work together. And so what I do with most of my clients is they work out with me so many days a week. And when we start off, I'll teach them proper form, teach you how to use the machines, make sure people understand the importance of form over the amount of reps you're going to do or how much weight. Form is more important because you don't want to get injured. If you get tired, the mirrors are great because you want to watch your form, keeping your core straight, keeping your back straight, squeezing your gut.
Mhm.
That's another way to make sure your form is good. And I don't know if guys do this, but I know ladies, this might help. If to know if you're squeezing your core properly, it's like if you wear a dress and it's a little bit tight in the midsection and you ate a bit and you feel bloated. And so you're kind of sucking it in, but you can still talk.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
That's
was doing that. I was doing that last night at a movie premiere.
that's when you know you're holding your core. But did you have fun at the premiere?
I did. I did.
Good. But that's when you know you're holding your core. If your core feels loose, If you feel like you're not holding it together, you want to hold it. And if you're not used to doing it, it is going to make your lower back feel tight. And that's normal because that's a part of the core as well. So proper form, proper stretching, warming up the right way, decompressing the muscles after your workout. Do not do static stretching before. And drinking water or drinking proper fluids before, during, and after. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. That's extremely important. Gosh, it's like in my brain, my brain is just clicking. I'm trying to think of everything I can. Like, I don't want to leave anything out. And you want to know your limits. When you're working out in the gym, it's called training. So, don't get discouraged if somebody's on a machine and they're leg pressing 10 plates. Don't get discouraged by that. Be happy with
never that. I applaud them. Like,
yeah.
That's great.
But sometimes when you have a lot of weight to lose, I have had people say, well, I want to lose 50 pounds before I go to the gym. But the purpose of the gym, is to help you lose weight, So I would say don't get discouraged and know your limitations. When you feel fatigued, take a break, drink some water, walk around to keep your muscles warm, breathe, and then stop this. It's okay to stop a set. You do want to try and finish a set, but if you start to lose your form, it's not worth it because that's where injuries happen. So again, putting the muscles on a rotation. And I almost forgot this part. When you do the muscle group rotation, you could do Monday, you do one group. So Monday could be shoulders, chest, and triceps. And then Tuesday could be legs. And then Wednesday could be back, biceps, and abs. Now, I personally put legs on Monday because most times if I do cheat, that happens on the weekend. And so when Monday comes, legs burn more calories, you use more energy when you work your legs. And so I usually put my leg day on Mondays and Thursdays. So I have 2 days of rest for that muscle group. But I'm also on Tuesday, I'm working shoulder, chest, and triceps. And so my legs get a rest and I work my shoulders, chest, and triceps. And then on Wednesday, I do my back, biceps, and abs. And so I can work out 6 days without running into the risk. It really lowers the risk of injury because you're giving the muscles time to repair and recover. But it only takes 3 days for your muscles to go into atrophy. So you want to keep that in mind. Okay. It only takes 3 days to go into atrophy. So, I meet people who say, well, I only want to work out once a week. Well, you're basically starting over every week. So you want to do something. You want to keep the muscles active because muscle tone is literally just your muscle in a state of readiness to do what you always do. Everyone has muscle tone, some way less than others, but you might have muscle tone for being a couch potato. You might have muscle tone for sitting at the desk all day and typing away. You might have muscle tone for running a marathon, but not lifting weights. So you want to keep your body, well-rounded. Okay.
That's some good stuff. I can't wait to start. I can't wait to start because
I'm excited too about you seeing the before and after and you being excited. That's more exciting to me than anything. It's like
yes, girl, because like I said, I need to do this. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not where I want it to be.
That's right. That's right. And the biggest thing is you don't want to. I always tell people I never ever want to get to a point in my life with anything where I'm like, I've arrived. Never ever. There's always room for me to improve. So yeah.
I like that. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I was super nervous.
So how you feel now, though?
I'm good. I feel great.
Good. See, I was telling Andrea before, like a few of my guests, like over the past year and a half, I've been doing this. A few of them was like, I've never done a podcast. I've never done anything like this before. I'm nervous. And I was like, just relax. I got you. They're like at the end, oh my God, that was so fun. That was, my nerves left and all of that. So, it's just, Yeah, I like to make my guests feel at ease. So
Thank you so much, Connie. You do. But you've always been like that. We go way back.
yes,
I think I've been knowing you for over 20 years, though.
girl, yes,
Yeah, it has been. Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna talk about how old we were though.
right, right. You're a few years younger than me, but still.
Still. It's been a long time.
Thank you. It has. Thank you so much. Again, that was some good information. I know that people out there have what they needed, what they tuned in to get, and then some, because you gave some good information and it's some stuff that I heard for the first time. I'm like, oh, okay, So thank you so much for that. And again, give out your so Andrea .the.personal.trainer. That is
That's
your
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yep. I'm on Instagram. And then you can also follow me on Andrea's Health Corner on Facebook. So Andrea's Health Corner on Facebook, you can, just ask to join the group. And sometimes we'll just put, little dishes or just little tips on there as well.
And I will have that information linked into the description of this episode. So they can just click on it and be taken there immediately. And
thank you, lady.
Yes, thank you so much. So everybody be safe working out, whether outdoors or indoors. Make sure if you know somebody who is, like to work out outside a lot, make sure you share this episode with them so they can make sure that they're, just on track. And yeah, thank you so much. This was really good. It's really good. I'm going to listen to this again at work. I'm going to be taking notes.
Look, I'm going to watch it too. Like,
So thank you so much, everybody. And we're going to have another episode for you next week. And then we're going to finish the month out with, I have on this a sexologist. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So talking about being safe in these streets, being safe in these streets. So, and she's a Christian too. So,
awesome.
So everybody, thank you again as I wrap up for the third or fourth time. And just catch us on our Instagram page, on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, at K Marie Podcast on all social platforms. And again, you can listen to us. You can subscribe to our podcast everywhere where you listen to podcasts, every streaming platform except for Tidal. I just haven't applied for them yet. So, but everybody else, you can find us there. Thank you so much. I will see you all next week and have a great day. Bye.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. It's time to turn up the radio. Turn up the radio. Just so you know, you're kicking it with K. That's all I'm gonna say. You're here now.